Jesus Christ was annoying. He was bothersome. He seemed to persistently meddle in the dozens' daily activities, their choices, their behavior. Boy, if I was one of those original 12, he'd drive me nuts. All you have to do is ask his first lieutenant, the one he nicknamed Peter, which he meant the Rock. But in chapter 21 of the Gospel of John, Jesus is like a scolding parent because he referred to him in a more formal way. Simon, son of John. That name Peter hated when the master used it in front of the other disciples. Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Hello, I'm Reverend Paul Tuttle, a retired Presbyterian minister, and I'm sharing this week devotions about the Gospel of John, the 21st chapter, looking at lessons we can learn in the second ending of the gospel. You see, it seems to have stopped in chapter 20. But somewhere along the line in his long life, the author John and those around him added a second ending, chapter 21. And that's what we're looking at today or this week. So the Gospel of John, the second ending, portrays less than a flattering image of Coach Jesus Christ, especially if we could interview Simon Peter, say, at halftime. So turn with me to verses 15 and 19 in chapter 21. Let me make some comments to realize why Jesus could be portrayed as annoying. So after they had finished eating, Jesus asked Simon Peter, Simon, son of God, very formal, do you love me more than these? The these is not defined. The inference is more than these other disciples. But it could have been, interestingly, do you love me more than fishing? The these meaning the elements of fishing, the nets and the boats and knowing how to fish. Do you love me more than fishing? I'm sure Simon must have thought more than the other disciples, because you see, Simon said much earlier in Matthew, the 26th chapter, that even if all the other disciples fell away and did other things, Simon would always be by Jesus' side because you called me Peter the Rock. Simon, do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. All right then, feed my lambs, the new little babies. Jesus asked a second time, being persistent. Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter said, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. All right, Jesus said. Secondly, take care of my sheep. Tend my sheep. In other words, not just feed them, secure them, make them comfortable overnight. Take them to places where they can find fresh water. Keep the wolves and other enemies at bay. Take care of, tend my sheep. Feed the lambs, tend the sheep. But Jesus wasn't finished. And Peter was beginning to get a little miffed, a little annoyed. Jesus asked the third time, Simon, son of John, do you really love me? Peter was sad. Other translations say Peter was grieved. Peter was annoyed. that Jesus asked him a third time, "Do you love me?" So Simon replied, "Lord, you know everything, don't you? Why do you keep asking? You know the answer already. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Then feed my sheep." Jesus asked 3 times. What else was Peter known for by threes? Denying Jesus 3 times, just hours before Jesus breathed his last human breath. It goes on to say in verse 18 and 19, it goes on to come up with a very strange little addition, but it makes some sense. Let me try to explain it. "I assure you," says the gospel writer John, "that when you're younger, you tied your own belt and walked around wherever you wanted." In other words, when you were younger, you think you knew everything. You think you had it made. You think you knew exactly what you should be doing to get where you want to go, to have a long and fruitful and pleasant life. But when you grow old, when you become more mature, you will stretch out your hands, and another will tie a belt around you to lead you where you don't want to go. A foreshadowing of death on a cross. And yet, when we do mature in life, we learn about humility. We learn about trusting in God's plan for us, even if we can't quite see the end. We need to fulfill God's plan for each one of us. We need to learn that our path might also include a cross, and like Peter, not be worthy to be crucified some 34 years later, according to the records, after Jesus was crucified. Peter was crucified on a cross, but felt unworthy, and so asked to be crucified upside down. Keep on following me, Jesus says by saying, "Follow me." It's in the future tense. Keep on following me in all circumstances. To follow and to love Jesus brings a task, an action, a responsibility, but it also brings a cross and a sacrifice. So as we look at John 21, verses 15 through 19, let's keep this in mind, that Jesus can be annoying. Jesus can be difficult. Jesus can be challenging. But that is what Jesus expects of us as well. Have a good day. See you tomorrow for the last devotional.